Being born wealthy gives you a safety net. Being born poor often plugs you into defined support systems. But landing right in the middle, according to Indian comedy creator McGolu, that's practically a divine punishment. You are trapped in an agonizing purgatory where your entire life is defined by the squeeze. When you have money, your dinner table conversations revolve around global politics or scientific breakthroughs. When you have nothing, the focus is pure, defined survival. This animated Venn diagram shows exactly how this trap operates. On the left side, you have the expensive aspirations of the wealthy. On the right, the microscopic budgets of the poor. The overlapping red zone right in the middle is the vacuum. The creator's viral sketch functions as a hyper-accurate anthropological documentary of this specific demographic. Look closely at how the family physically occupies space. They are huddled tightly on a single bed, eyes glued to a small screen, constantly negotiating every inch of their physical and financial environment. To survive the sheer crushing pressure of this economic middle ground without completely losing their minds, this tribe has engineered a strict, deeply ingrained set of bizarre cultural rituals. First, we have the discipline of extreme resource management. In this sketch, the narrator recalls a time when an 18-piece packet of Parle G biscuits had to be divided among 18 siblings. The solution to getting a second biscuit wasn't to buy more food. It was to actively hope your sisters got married off quickly, so the yield per person would go up. Then there is the cultural mandate of physical preservation. In this ecosystem, an object is never truly discarded until its atomic structure completely dissolves. This flowchart illustrates the rigid life cycle of basic household goods. A brand new garment enters up atop. As it degrades, it is continuously downgraded in status, completely skipping the trash can. A pair of sandals will be stitched together 4 separate times. A torn piece of underwear is formally reclassified and finishes its life as the kitchen floor mop. Outsiders often dismiss this behavior as extreme cheapness. In reality, maximizing the physical utility of every single object they own is a highly evolved defense mechanism to outpace inflation. Then there is the bizarre way this ecosystem treats ambition. In one scene, 2 fathers discuss their children's report cards, and one father is actively, desperately hoping his own son fails the academic year. The logic behind this wish is brutally pragmatic. A child passing to the next grade requires an immediate layout of cash for a new set of textbooks. That is a sudden, heavy, and unexpected expense the household budget simply cannot absorb, even relying on chaotic secondhand street markets. Even when a child achieves maximum academic success, the system immediately course-corrects. When the sketch's topper student asks for his reward for academic excellence, his father instantly grounds him in his socioeconomic reality. The grand prize for being a genius student isn't a scholarship or a new laptop. The father hands him the keys to an auto rickshaw, tells him to turn the meter down, and sends him straight out onto the street to join the cycle of daily labor. In this fragile ecosystem, ambition is a severe financial liability. Upward mobility threatens the delicate math of the household, so parents instinctively suppress it to protect the baseline. This brings us to the most complex ritual, the family argument. In the sketch, the mother and son casually float the idea of taking a vacation to the idyllic snow-capped mountains of Kashmir. The father's immediate reaction is to launch a tactical assault. He deflects the request by firing off extreme sarcasm, calling his family greedy, and playing the victim of their impossible demands. This flowchart maps out the psychological strategy at play here, known as melodrama deflection. When a financial request comes in, the parent faces 2 paths. They can take the red path and admit they're broke, or the green path and start a theatrical argument. The family actively chooses to block the painful reality of an empty bank account, redirecting that energy into yelling at each other. Theatrical anger serves as a psychological buffer. It is significantly easier for a mother and son to be furious at a father's supposed stinginess than it is to sit down and face the systemic, depressing reality of their financial stagnation. The recurring themes of dark humor, like a mother suggesting her son eat poison or a father constantly wielding a belt, operate as a coded language of resilience. Within this environment, these interactions provide a way to vent the frustrations of a life lived in a permanent financial squeeze. The viral success of McGolu's sketch proves this point. Millions of viewers watched these chaotic exchanges and instantly recognized the exact survival tactics playing out in their own living rooms. The underlying message acknowledges the functional unity required to endure this life. The family remains a tight, singular unit because they are the only people who understand the specific, grueling rules of their own survival under relentless economic pressure. This demographic possesses a distinct capacity to look directly at systemic financial failure, absorb the shock of broken dreams, and immediately transform that misery into a self-deprecating inside joke. The middle class is loud, it is deeply frustrating, and it traps you in a constant state of anxiety. Yet this shared cultural humor ensures they survive the crush of reality, one stitched-up chapel at a time.